Hey guys, how you guys doing today? Mr. Finance coming in real quick just to talk to you. And today, we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about the fact that this workshop that's going to be on tomorrow at 7 p.m. guys. This workshop is incredible. I mean, one of the best workshops yet. I mean, like, you need to click on that link above as soon as it hits 7:15 tomorrow. Make sure that you're on. Now, I'm going to give you another simple reason why you need to be there, because I'm going to show you some of what people are learning, right? Tonight, we're going to talk about budgeting, right? As you can see here, we're going to teach you how to budget. What are some of the fundamental formulas that I'm using to teach people how to budget, right? And it's quite simple. Now, if you want to budget like a real pro, and I mean like a real pro, like most of these guys are amateurs, so I'm going to give you the real thing. Because you know what I've learned? Most of these companies that say they provide financial education, they really don't. They really just give you the surface thing for you to make a purchase or to give you something to make you buy something. And to me, that's not financial education. That's a setup like they're closing, right? So what WSB and World Financial Group have done is that we are focused on financial education. You're gonna come, you're gonna really learn, you're gonna really understand, and you're gonna make an educational decision, not based on what I want you to buy, but based on what you need, right? So today I'm gonna talk about a budget. I'm gonna talk about the 50, 20, 30 rule. I don't know if you guys are really familiar with this, but the 50, 20, 30 formula is one of the really coolest formula that makes budgeting very simple. Because you see, what most people do is that they make budgeting very complicated. Like accountants would say, this number, spreadsheets, you get so confused. You're just sick and tired of it. You're just like, man, I give up on budget. You just throw the paper in the air and say whatever. So what I'm doing is I'm bringing it to you where it's simple, understandable. You can even teach it back to someone because it's so simple, you're going to learn it. And that's what I'm giving to you. Just a little pinch of what you're going to learn tomorrow, right? So the 50, 20, 30 rule. You never heard of this? What are you going to learn today? What it says this. 50%, that's what the 50 represent. 50% of that should go towards your bills, right? 50% of your income should go towards your bills. Then 20% of your income should go towards savings, right? So that way you could then have 30% to go towards your spending money, right? That's spending money. Now, unlike most people, I know what you're already thinking. I'm gonna make a mark. You're already wondering if 50%, what if 50% of your income don't pay for all your bills? Well, let's bring some understanding to it. Let's just say you made about $3,000 on a monthly basis, right? So if you make $3,000 on a monthly basis, let's put the money in action, right? So 50% of that $3,000 will go to $1,500, right? And then 20% of that, which go towards your savings, which will be $600. So that way, your spending money of 30% will be $900, right? So then the real question here is this. Do you cut back on your spending, or you take the money from your savings? Which one do you do? Now, if you're smart like most people, I'm pretty sure you will cut back on the spending so that way you can apply it towards the bills, right? Because the one thing I want you to get used to and very familiar with is the fact that when it comes to saving, this saving is for your retirement, right? This is for when you retire. This is retire money, right? You got to think about retirement. If you're not thinking about retirement, that's a big problem. Hey, Lolia, how you doing? And we always got to see and build on what we want to save for retirement, right? Hi, Sunita. we got to think about it. So we must learn the 50-20-30 rule. If we don't learn this rule when it comes to budgeting, we're going to be in a lot of financial problems. A lot of it. And I just want to tell you guys that you don't have to be in problems. You don't have to wait till problems hit to solve them. So, one of the other things that I want you guys, so let me go over the 50-20 for all those that just came in. The 50-20-30 rule is what you use for budgeting. 50% of your money should go towards the bills, so that 20% could go towards what you save, and then 30% is what you have for spending money. So for the example that I use is that if you made $3,000 a month, $1,500 out of that $3,000 go towards your bills. So that way $600, which is 20%, could go towards savings, and that way 30%, which is $900, go towards spending money. If your total amount of bills are not covered by the 50%, cut back on spending and apply that percentage to there. All right? Small sacrifices, because I want you guys to get in the habit of saving. Saving is the key. This is the retirement money, right? Because here what happened. And I'm going to go a little deeper before I let you guys go. We're going to talk about buy term, invest the difference, right? I had a really great conversation today with somebody from a company that said buy term, invest the difference is a great concept. And I said to them that yes, it could be a great concept if there weren't other choices, right? Then I hear other people say that they sell, some do, and I'm just like, why we need to stop selling and we need to start educating, because people are being sold just for someone to get rich. That's why people become skeptical. That's why people don't trust people like myself that are here to educate you. I want you to make an educational decision, right? Not based on my opinion, based on an educational decision that is actually compliant and actually designed to your needs, right? If you know what you want, you will get what you need. But most people, they think for you and tell you what you need, and that is bad. We need to cut that out. We need to educate people, and they'll make a decision on what they want. So the first thing I'm going to talk about, they always say buy term, and then you're supposed to invest the difference. So I'll make two columns. Right? Let's break down what that really means. What does buy term, invest the difference really mean? Okay, so once you hear this, don't be alarmed by it. Don't let them start using fancy numbers and start throwing you off, because that's what they really do. They're designed to sell you this. They're designed to sell the living life out of you, right? They don't care about your family. They don't care about none of that. All they care about is coming to your house and making a sale. That's it, right? That's all they want to do. Come in the house, make a sale, get rich, watch you poor, and you don't get nothing really out of it. So let's talk about buy term, invest the difference. Now, term. Term insurance come in some of these categories. They come in 10, 20, 25, and 30-year term, right? Now, term insurance is exactly what it says. It covers you for a term of different year cycles, right? So it could be that you got a 10-year term, you could get a 20-year term, and you could get a 25-year term or a 30-year term. That's the max amount of years you could get within a term policy if you're in good health. Now, they will tell you that some of the perks about this vehicle is that it's cheap. It's very cheap for COI, which is cost of insurance, right? They tell you that it's cheap. You could get more for your buck. So, for example, if you're 20 years old, you could probably spend about $50 for about, say, over 100K, right? For about 100K. It'd be like $50 a month, right? And you could probably get a maximum amount of coverage for about 30 years. So that means you will have insurance for about 30 years, which will make you have insurance up until age 50, right? So now, let's fast forward a couple years. Say that you got to age 50, right? Age 50 now. Your 30-year term is up. I just want to say that, let's say that you're healthy, right? Nothing's wrong with you. That's something that you can't predict 30 years from now. But let's just say that you're completely fine. And you're healthy. You're able to get reinsurance again, right? So you got coverage again. And they gave you another 30 years, right? Now that other 30 years now bring you to age 80 years old. Now you're 80 years old. Your term is ran out. Are you insurable at the age of 80 years old? You want to really know the answer to that question? You're most likely not insurable. And I'll tell you why. The way insurance works is risk. See, if the insurance company know that you're close to death, they don't want to insure you. They can't make money. Let me tell you something. Insurance companies are here to make money. All right? And if your life is not have a great value, they don't want to insure you. It's like a car. They won't insure a beat down car if they know it's not reliable to be on the road. Right? It's the same thing with your life. So that's why I always tell people that at the end of the day, it's a business. And you just got to understand which end of the business are you on. Are you on the end that are getting sold, or you're getting on the end that could take advantage of your opportunity with this investment or this insurance, right? Because I said invest in yourself. It's an investment in yourself. And now, from 20 to 50, from 50 to 80, say that you spend from 20 to 50, which is 30 years, you spend $50 a month, right? And let's do the calculation. Let's talk about how much you'll spend over that term, right? Now, 20 a month times that by 12, that is, 50 times 12 a month, that is $600 a year, right? Times that by 30 years, that is $18,000 from 20 to 50 you have invested, right? $18,000. Then, I'll tell you this much. At the age 50, you're not going to still have that $50 a month for coverage. By age 50, it's going to most likely triple. So let's just say that your premium went from $50 a month to about $150 a month, right? So now let's do $150 a month times that by 12. That is $1,800 a year. Let's see for the next 30 years, how much is that? Times that by 30 years, that's $54,000. So from 50 to 80, you would have invested $54,000 of your hard-working money. Now, if you add up all the years together, now let's add up all the years. 54,000 plus the 18,000, you would have spent a total of $72,000 in that lifetime from 20 to 80 years old. Here's my question to you. Wouldn't that have been better if you just saved that money and have it? Right? It would have been better. Because here's the thing now. Most of these companies, their crusades say that once you invest the difference, you should have more money right? So that way you wouldn't need insurance after like 50 and 80. That's the concept. Now let's find out where they're investing this money in. Well, they're investing in their money in things called like mutual funds. Right? Mutual funds. Then they invest in that money also in things like IRA. They invested in like annuities and so on, right? These are the vehicles that they invested their money in. Now, I want you to keep a few things in mind. I want you to keep this in mind. Taxes, right? And market performance, right? Because here's the thing that they didn't tell you. They didn't tell you how this money is going to be taxed on a yearly basis, on distribution or withdrawal basis, and they didn't tell you how it's going to be affected based off the market performance. So now let's talk about market performance. Say the market goes up 10%, right? So that means you earn 10% on your money. Now let's just say the market goes down negative 5%. So you lost 5% of your money. Then it goes up again. It goes up another 10, say 20%. But then it crashed to where you lost 50% of your money. What then? Do you know that in order for you to get back to even, you would have to make 100% of all what you've lost, which is highly impossible for you to do in the stock market. It's highly hard for you to do because your money is based off the performance of the market. Most of the time, your money is tied to the S&P 500 and so on. Is it bad? No, but I'm saying is that most of the time, they don't even manage it properly. Or you, as the consumer, don't pay attention to it most of the time. And then you have the market recorrects itself, and then you lose a lot of money in the back end. Right? Then you talk about taxes, like mutual funds. Those are taxable. The word taxable means they're going to tax you now. Your IRAs and annuities and so on are what they call tax deferred. Just to make you understand what that means is that they're going to tax you later. Right? And in most cases, if we're going to use the example of the age of 20, 50, and 80, they're going to tax you when you're getting closer to retirement, which is later on. The time when you need most of your money. So we got to be very mindful of these plans that people put together. They structure things and they never really understand the ideal of people, plans and wants and needs. Now, I'm going to show you a better understanding of why I believe that financial education is really, really important. The first thing I'm going to talk about is we're going to talk about term. We're going to get you understanding this. Then we're going to talk of return of premium, right? ROP. Then the other thing we're going to talk about is permanent, right? We're going to talk about permanent. I like to say, let's use the word life. We're going to talk about life. We're going to talk about these three things. Now, let's just say, for argument's sake, that this person is about, say, 20 years old, right? This person is, matter of fact, no, they're 30 years old. This person is 30 years old, and they want $100,000 in coverage. They're going to have $100,000 in coverage, right? So this is going to be the example for everybody. Now, starting out with the person that are term, for the $100,000, they're going to spend approximately, say, $300 a year, right? For the return of premium, they're going to spend about $600 a year. And for the life, they're going to spend about $1,200 a year, right? Now, looking at that example, I know what you're already thinking. Term is your thing. It's cheaper, right? Because right down the playing field, term, it's only $300 you're going to spend a year. For the return of premium, it's only $600. And then for the life, which is permanent insurance, you're going to spend $1,200. So right off the back, you're saying life is expensive, term is cheap. Why not get that? Well, let's look at the numbers, right? So this person started at 30 years old. Come down 30 years. So we're going to talk about the first 30 years, right? The first 30 years. Let's look at the investment that you have invested in. Now, term has no equity value. In our company, we call that cash value in this industry. So equity is cash value, right? So that means there's no cash or money can be developed in a term. So in 30 years, you spending $300 a year, we times that, we times 300, times that by 30. Now you have invested a total of $9,000, right? So from the term, over a 30-year span, you've invested $9,000 of your money in this vehicle, right? Now let's talk about the return of premium in a 30-year span. In a 30-year span, you invested $600 a year, times that by 30. So now you invested $18,000 in there. ROP, right? Return of premium. Then, as for the life, which is the permanent insurance, you'd invested $1,200 a year, times that by 30 years. You've invested $36,000 in the life. So now you're looking like, man, you spend a lot more on this life side versus the term. Now here's something I want you to keep in mind. Now, what did I tell you about term? The most years you can get out of it is about 30 years. So you have to re-qualify again, right? Moving forward. Now the return of premium, it pretty much be the same thing. You have to take a test. So what I'm going to put here is that you're not sure if you'll qualify. You're still not sure if you'll qualify. But the good thing about the return of premium is that exactly what it is. ROP, you'll have the ability to get all your premium back to you. Unlike the term, you don't get the value back to you. That money's gone. Don't even look around for that money. That money is gone, right? But then, come over here with the life, you don't have to re-qualify. So you're already good. Because it's exactly what it says. Coverage for life, right? Most of these vehicles in the life vehicle goes up to age 120, 121. So that's pretty much most of your life you have coverage. But for here, your 30-year term is done. The ROP is done. So you're not even sure if you can re-qualify for these again. But let's just say that now let's look at the cash value here. You have cash value have developed in the past 30 years of you even invested this 36. Now, here's how that works. What you gotta do is subtract. The way life insurance works, that comes with equity value, which is cash value. If you subtract the cost of insurance and then you minus cost of insurance from the total invested, you will see what is the equity, which is the cash value. Now, depending on the interest and the dividend that you get, that's how your money will grow, right? That's one of the greatest thing about it. But let's just keep it at a fair game. We're going to keep it fair so you understand. Let's just say that you qualified for another 30-year term. Remember what I told you? This is going to triple due to the fact that your age now, from 30 to 30, you're age 60 years old. Right? You're now 60 years old. The cost of insurance have went up at the age of 60 for you to get $100,000 in coverage. So that most likely your term have tripled. So now it went from 300 to about 900 a year, right? 900 a year in the term. So now you qualify for another 30-year term in this coverage, right? But it's $900 a year. Let's do the math. 900 again. 900 a year times that for another 30 years. That is $27,000 you've invested again. $27,000 you invested in your term policy. Now the same thing with your return of premium. It would have doubled, right? The return of premium had doubled based on the age and the same amount of coverage that you would desire. So now you went from paying $600 a year in your return of premium. Now you're paying $1,200 a year, right? Now you're paying $1,200 a year for return of premium. In a 30-year span, you would have invested, let's see, $1,200 times that by 30 years. That is $36,000, right? $36,000 you've invested within your return of premium. But what's the good thing about the return of premium? You're going to get back all your money that you invested in the return of premium, right? Now, let's take a look over by life now. Remember, you're good. You didn't have to requalify, right? You didn't have to requalify. Now, let's see how much the return of premium have gone up now that we're in age 60. It actually doesn't change. It's still $1,200 every year. It didn't change. So the same $1,200 that you invested 30 years ago, it was the same thing you invested. Right? Now, in some case, I would love to say this 3,600 would actually grow. Because when you minus over the 60 years, you would have invested a total of 36 plus 36, that is 72,000 into the life, which would then minus, what you do is minus the 36 from there, which will leave you with about 36, and this is just me being fair, $36,000 of cash value. And you still have coverage all the way for the same 100,000. Right? Unlike your ROP that does, but you still get the 36,000, but you don't have no coverage. The term, you would have invested 9,000 plus the 27, right? That puts you at what? Let's see, 0, 0, carry the 1. Now that you have invested a total of, in this one, see, 7, that's 14, 2, 6, and 3. So you invested almost about 47,000, right? Into the term policy. So this doesn't come with no equity. Term carries no equity, no cash value in it. All you buying is a peace of mind. That's it. While someone else is getting rich off that concept. Be careful of what people out there selling to you. Be careful. Because you know what I always say? Is term bad? No, term is not bad. But let me tell you something about term. Why settle for a Toyota when you could get a Rolls Royce? Right? Why settle for Toyota when you could get a Rolls Royce? If I'm going to buy a term policy, I'm going to buy a term that comes with a living benefit rider. I'm going to buy a term that comes with living benefit and where it doesn't cost me more for me to have this part on it. But in some cases, they don't do that. They want to sell it to you separately. What I want you guys to do, click on the link tomorrow at 7:15. Come learn. Be a part of our workshop. Be a part of our national campaign. Our mission is to educate 1 million families before 2020. Your family should not be left behind. Never be left behind. These people will sell you, mislead you just to get rich, and then they post it up on their website how you made hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you on the back end didn't do the same. Be careful. I like to say that WSB WFG is one of the most integrity company in the freaking industry, and we're going to revolutionize and change it, because it's time we put those salesmen to rest. We're going to put these salesmen to rest. All these insurance professionals to rest. Because what we're doing, we're going to change the industry. We're going to make it very hard for you guys to sell families. We don't sell, we educate. And on top of that, we give you a book to go read and get your knowledge. Because why? I don't want you to trust me based on my professionalism or my knowledge. I want you to trust me by what you read, by what you understand. Because then you can know if I'm a man of integrity. Because most of these guys, they put together their little things and they explain things, but it's all leading to one direction. It's to sell you. Come and learn. Mr. Finance is here, and I'm here to change the world. I have many colleagues that's here already, many financial coaches that are ready to learn, ready to teach, ready to go on the mission. If you never know about us, look up one of our nearest locations. Tell them that Keyon sent you. Search, go to our website. I want you guys to go to our website and search for one of our nearest locations. Tell them that Keyon sent you, right? And what I want you to do is I want you to go to this website. I want you to go to w.worldsystembuilder.com. And once you go to this website here, I want you to go there, see our mission, see what we're about, right? See some of the great testimonies of people learning from us. And then I want you to give me a call. And I want you to text me and tell me, how can I help educate you? 973-873-5977. Give me a call. Shoot me a text. If you enjoyed this video, share it, tag a friend, and make sure that they get the knowledge. Go to www.worldsystembuilder.com and go see our mission, read the testimonies, get a part of the movement. We're going to change the world. If you're looking for an opportunity to definitely be a part of our campaign, to be a part of our financial coaching, come on, we're looking for you. We need more people with integrity, with people with heart, right? We always say mission before commission. We gotta have a mission before thinking about commission. And we're gonna change the world with that type of mindset. Let's change the world together. I need you that's watching this to help me change the world. Can you change the world with me? Call me, 973-873-5977. I look forward to you helping me change the world. See you guys soon.